A space travel trailblazer who paved the way for women in STEM. Back in 1995, NASA astronaut, United States Air Force Colonel Eileen Collins made history as the first female commander and first woman to pilot a space shuttle. In her new book, Through the Glass Ceiling to the Stars, the story of the first American woman to command a space mission, she gives us insight into what it was like going above and beyond. Colonel Collins, kind enough to join us now. And Colonel, you retired roughly 15 years ago. What made you decide that right now was the time to write your memoir?
Well, to be honest with you, when the pandemic hit, I had a lot more free time. I normally in my job, I travel, I'm a speaker. And when everything shut down back in March of 2020, I was contacted by my co-author, Jonathan Ward, who said, I think now is the time. So we decided to start writing. And I think that was the reason. But over the years, people have been asking me, where's your book? Where's your book? And so I'm not a writer, but I managed to get it done, and it was digging up a lot of the past. It was doing a lot of research. I wanted to make sure everything in the book was exactly correct. I'm not embellishing on any of the stories. Everything in that book is exactly what happened because of all the research we've done over the last year and a half. And I'm happy to say, for those who have been asking for the book, it's finally out.
Something positive to come out of the pandemic. Yep. Take us back to that February day in 1995 when you got in the pilot seat of the space shuttle and then catapulted into the universe. Give us a sense of what that moment was like.
Well, of course, I was very excited about being my first space flight. So personally, for me, it was a dream come true. But when reality sets in, I'm the pilot of the space shuttle. I'm the first woman to pilot the space shuttle. My aviator friends, especially the women, who were saying, Eileen, get out there and do it for us. So there was a lot of pressure on me to not make a mistake. And I didn't want to make a mistake on the flight and have people say, oh, look at the woman made a mistake. So, put a lot of that pressure on myself. So I had to put aside the fact that, oh, yes, I am the first woman piloting the space shuttle, and instead just say, Eileen, you have to be the best pilot you can possibly be. That doesn't just include the flying skills, but includes all the procedures, all the responsibilities that I had as a pilot. And back in those days, a lot of the work we did, it was manual. I mean, we were actually throwing the switches and running the procedures. Today, most of spaceflight is being automated and run by computers. But back in the shuttle days, we actually flew the shuttle like you would fly an airplane during the rendezvous.
I did want to ask you about that because you were just talking about kind of back in the day how it was all manual and now it's all automated. What is your take on the billionaire space race and this new fleet, basically, of spaceships that are going up? Some of them don't have any switches at all.
Well, so that's true. So the Blue Origin flight that we've seen, the recent flight with William Shatner and then Wally Funk last summer, those are fully automated. And they've been tested and tested over again, but they're really designed for the people who fly to enjoy themselves. They don't have to work. They don't have to train that much. They are flying to enjoy themselves. I'm fully in support of that. I think the purpose of those flights are to get more people in space. Now, if you look at the Virgin Galactic flights, which Richard Branson flew back in, I believe it was June of 2021, those have two pilots. So those are actually flown by, so there's a little bit of difference between the two. And then the SpaceX, of course, is the other company that is doing private spaceflight. They actually go into orbit, and they're very, very automated. I think they still have some interaction that they need with the crew. But spaceflight is changing, and I think more and more people will be able to fly because there is more automation. There's less training required. And I mean, you can sign up for those flights, pay the cost of a ticket and go fly. And now you've seen the Earth from above, you've seen the curvature of the Earth, you've seen the beauty of the Earth, and you just have a feeling that you want to take care of the planet even more. So I think it's a good thing to get more people in space.
And if you have $250 million, you can do that. In the book, though, just want to turn back to that for a moment, because you do get really personal about your childhood, and you're extremely vulnerable when talking about the obstacles of growing up with an alcoholic father and a struggling single mother. How did those life lessons help to fuel your drive to become an astronaut?
Well, I think, part of my childhood, it really goes back to the independence that I had to have growing up. When there was a time when both my parents were away in the hospital. We ran about 4 weeks or so, and I was in charge of the house. I had to get my younger brother and sister to school, cook the meals, make sure everything was running fine. I'm not sure it was legal. I was 17 years old. But I think, and my mother was also very independent. And I think I learned quite a bit from my parents. In fact, I dedicated the book to my parents. And my message to parents out there is you don't have to be a perfect parent. Every parent has, issues. We're not all perfect. But the important thing is that your kids know that you love them and that you support them in whatever they want to do. And my parents supported me in what I wanted to do. So I dedicated the book to them, even though they had their own struggles in life.
And we all certainly do. Eileen Collins, retired NASA astronaut and author, Through the Glass Ceiling to the Stars. We thank you so much for your leadership and your time.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.